You know?
People think we were hooking up the whole time.
18 days in the same bed.
Never kissed.
Never kissed.
Hannah Brown and Tyler Cameron reveal what really happened when they quarantined together. Hey guys, welcome back to another Shared News from Home. We are breaking down the latest updates regarding Hannah Brown and Tyler Cameron's quarantine experience. But before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future updates. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, and I'm joined by the wonderful Avery Grooms. Hello. Okay, Avery, so let's just dive right in because I feel like this moment has been such a long time coming for so many shippers out there. Hannah and Tyler are finally addressing the romance rumors that they fueled while isolating together. First, let's just start from the very beginning. Hannah turned down Tyler's proposal during her season finale of The Bachelorette and got engaged to Jed Wyatt, but we all know how that turned out.
The second night after we got engaged, Jed tells me that he had been hanging out with this girl before he left to come on the show. The article said that he didn't really end the relationship before he came here. I can be mad and I can be upset, but I do have grace for you. But also, this doesn't mean the same thing. That's not what I said yes to.
Later, during the After the Final Rose in July of 2019.
So I don't know. I just thought maybe we could go for a drink and just hang out.
I would love to. Just tell me when. I'm there.
It's a very epic shooting her shot moment. Tyler and Hannah have since remained friends. In the beginning of August, he was actually spotted leaving her apartment the morning after spending the night. However, he was then spotted on a date with supermodel Gigi Hadid that same week. Gigi and Tyler publicly dated for 3 months before calling it quits. So that was sort of their post-Bachelorette journey leading into trying to navigate friendship. And people love to ship them to this day. What are your thoughts, Avery, on sort of this part of their relationship?
It was a really weird situation. Obviously, like, he wasn't the winner, but then she like had the bold move and asked him out for the drinks. And then he was spotted leaving her house the morning after. So I was like, did they get drinks that night? But then 2 days later, he's on a date with a supermodel, Gigi Hadid. And I remember seeing that just thinking like, wow, like a Bachelor contestant is now dating publicly a supermodel. Like, that's kind of crazy. And it was quick, and it was very quick for like also being that public and just such another big name.
So Avery, this was such a weird time. I also remember being like, oh my God, Tyler Cameron and Gigi Hadid, like, how did they meet? How did they get connected? How did this happen? Are he and Hannah riding off into the sunset? Like, what is going on? And of course, this was a really weird time for Hannah Brown because I remember sort of like this was right around her Dancing with the Stars journey beginning. So she was doing a lot of press.
What's your life, girl? You okay right now?
She was fielding questions about like not only where she and Tyler stood, but what her thoughts on Tyler and Gigi were.
All right, you and Tyler hung out. We saw the photos. How did it go?
I had a great time.
Okay.
Yeah. God.
It's just sort of like a very complicated journey I feel like they've gone on because every twist and turn has played out so publicly.
Especially like just immediately after he's seen dating someone else, and then of course press goes to her and questions her, and like that has to be a little uncomfy. Like obviously she doesn't want to talk about that.
Is this weird to talk about right now?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Okay, what did you guys decide about your next steps or your future? Are you pursuing
things?
things?
It's the same as what we've been saying.
But yes, like you said, it's all has to be so public. So I understand there's probably a lot of pressure surrounding their friendship or relationship just in general. But anyway,
Absolutely.
Tyler and Hannah have been spending a lot of time together amid the pandemic. They social distance and quarantine together with a group of friends, which later became known as the Quarantine Crew. In the beginning of March, they quarantined for 18 days in Jupiter, Florida, where it looked like they were having a lot of fun. From workout videos to TikTok dances, their quarantine experience seemed very exciting. I mean, at least from like an outside perspective. Hannah and Tyler both launched their YouTube channels and recently collabed during their LA reunion. In Hannah's YouTube video titled "What Really Happened," the two explained after experiencing loss and trauma, specifically the death of Tyler's mom and Hannah's brother overdosing, that their time spent quarantining together was actually a time of healing and reflection. Tyler explained,
we were kind of leaning on each other now at this
Yeah,
point. Like we were
but
both going through things, so we kind of were like each other's support system all of a sudden. Because like you of course have your family there, but it's always nice to have someone outside to lean on as well.
Wow, Fiona, I don't know about you. I just think it's crazy to think. I remember seeing the TikToks and it was like, wow, they're back hanging out together. It looks like they're having so much fun, and who knew they were going through all of this? And I really understand the point he made by just saying, you know, it's nice to have a support system, it's nice to have your family, but it's also nice to have a support system that's not your family. And in a sense, she kind of related to what he was going on with, just dealing with her own kind of trauma. So I see why like they wanted to like link up just to be there for each other, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that there are so many different things that can bring people together. Something really exciting, some like sort of new triumph in your life can really bring two people together in excitement and joy. But on the flip side, like when something really devastating can happen, you turn to people that, you know, you can relate to, people that you trust, people that you care about. And I think that sometimes you turn to someone who can provide, you know, perhaps a little bit of a distraction, right? Someone you can lean on, someone you can talk to, but also someone who is going to perhaps help pull you out of what you're going through and encourage you to, you know, move on, obviously at your own pace. I don't think Hannah was there to be like, get over it. But I do think she helped infuse a lot of joy into the situation. And I think it's really telling. I mean, you see them making these videos together now, but I definitely think this phase of their life where they turned to each other just shows how deep of a connection, whether it's friendship or otherwise, they'll always share.
Yes. Tyler even talks about this in an interview. He said Hannah just being there really brought light to such a dark situation and a dark time. I mean, it was right at the beginning of quarantine. So on top of that, they already had all this family trauma to deal with. So it couldn't be an easy time. So anything helped.
Absolutely. Hannah actually opened up about her close relationship with Tyler's mom and even attending her funeral. She revealed,
I think I wanted to get away from my own trauma, so I say that I traded Tyler's trauma for mine, but I also wanted to be there for you.
Tyler told Access that he and Hannah did struggle with their friendship during their time together and made a rule that nothing would happen romantically so they wouldn't, you know, end up upsetting each other in the end. In Hannah's video, Tyler explained,
But like I didn't want to do something because I was like, you know, in a bad place or vulnerable. So like I made a rule. I was like, I'm not hooking up, not doing nothing, because I don't want you to go away and us do something and then like you go away and I go away, then it's like we were like, oh wait, I don't feel that, and then we're like upset again at each other. Which anyways, we got upset at each other anyway. So
he went on to mention that once their relationship turned into a public situation, it added pressure and expectations, which he admitted they did feed into the media frenzy, but it came at a cost. He explained, we were under pressure the whole time. Hannah added, and this part is so crazy, you guys. Hannah added that they did sleep in the same bed, which Bachelor fan detectives out there sort of devised at some point. They did sleep in the same bed, but she said,
people think we were hooking up the whole time.
18 days in the same bed.
Never kissed.
Never kissed.
As of right now, Hannah and Tyler both agreed that they are just friends and are focusing on their friendship and will continue to support each other. So this portion here is honestly such a roller coaster because, I mean, you have Hannah basically owning the fact that she was going through something in her life and kind of turned to Tyler and sort of wanted to absorb, you know, his issues, what he was going through, his emotions as a way to sort of put hers to the side, which I think is something so many people, you know, can relate to when you're going through hard times. Sometimes you don't want to process your own stuff, so you look for someone else. So right there, I feel like that is such a deep, complex emotion to navigate. Then you add the admission that they did play into this media frenzy. We were all sitting around talking about, are they flirting with each other? Are they not flirting with each other? Are they in on the joke? Are they not in on the joke? And clearly they were. I mean, it seems like they were trying to figure it out along with the rest of us. And I can't imagine going through trauma, living with an ex, trying to figure out where you and the ex stand, sleeping next to each other. I mean, this quarantine crew experience, honestly, to me, sounds like a nightmare. Too much to navigate. What about you?
Different. I mean, the trauma's one thing, and I get they have each other to cope, but then it's like, I don't know, if you want to remain friends with your ex for whatever reason, that in itself is not an easy thing to do. And this was like recently after, like, I know they saw each other a couple times before, but this is like the first time they actually really hung out with each other, you know, days. They have all day, and like, I understand how it could be hard, and they don't want to feed into the media, but I feel like they're also feeding into the media still right now. Like, obviously they had to come out and explain themselves, but I think more on Hannah's end, like if Tyler gave her the okay, it seems like she would like be like, yes, let's date again. It seems more like he's kind of like not about it. That's just my take from the video.
No, I totally see what you're saying, because it seems like, I mean, I'm trying to like put it in my shoes, my head, like if I was going through all of this, it seems like if somebody I cared really deeply about was going through something difficult and I was at the same time, so we decided, let's get back together, let's spend some time together, let's be there for each other, which quickly turns into, I mean, I can't remember which one of them mentioned it, but they were not anticipating that they would end up being together for that long. It was like come out for a weekend, and then it turned into something so extravagant and with so many eyes on it.
Yeah, that's when we didn't really know what quarantine meant. So I think they thought it was going to be a lot quicker, and then here we still are today. But
I mean, yeah, exactly. The craziness of 2020. But the only thing that I keep coming back to is it feels like when you have a crush on someone and you know they feel something for you, like you just know it. And all of your friends are telling you like, no, I think he likes you. No, I think he was flirting with you. I mean, come on, look at the way he looks at you. And then everything just turns into this like he said, she said, do I actually feel this? Should I just feel this? In real life, that can be confusing. Imagine it being millions of people on the internet saying, oh my God, no, look at the way Tyler looks at Hannah. Like, how did two people who definitely have some sort of feelings for each other navigate that and come out completely unscathed? I think it totally makes sense that it got messy at the end. And I commend them for being able to sit down, make these videos together, protect their friendship, still try and move forward, because I don't know that I could. I think it takes a severe level of maturity.
It really does. It had to be such a roller coaster for them. And I mean, the media hyping it up and shipping them, like, I understand what he means by like, we kind of fed into it. I would want to feed into it more too, because you're just giving the people what they want. Like, we obviously love them together, and like friends or in a relationship, they're still like a great duo. But just a lot of pressure and just a lot to handle all at once. So go them.
I know, crazy. I mean, listen, to this day, people still ship them. To this day, I think even they are like sort of dancing around like there is a connection here. Like, we're friends right now, but like, I think there's just, you look at someone like Tyler and Hannah, and they will either be lifelong friends who have such a funny, complicated history and, you know, so many stories to tell, or one day they'll end up together. But for now, we have this complicated clarity as to what was actually going on in the days of the quarantine crew. We are, of course, you guys, so curious to know your thoughts on all of this, because we have discussed Tyler and Hannah on this channel at length. So let us know. Yeah, let us know down in the comments if this is what you thought was going on, if this was surprising to you, if you're still holding out hope for a Hannah and Tyler romance in the future. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future Tyler and Hannah chats, because let's be real, we're going to be back here again. We know it. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring. You can follow me on socials at Fiona Zaring. And Avery, where can they find you?
On socials at Avery Grooms.
Amazing. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.